Hey, welcome back, and we're here at Flying Tutorial Part 3. Okay, so things are a bit different. I'm going to show you what I did real quick. Um, First of all, when you're editing your level, it's worth looking at the camera speed and upping it so you can navigate faster. So basically, I took one of the ground piece and one of the template pieces, template cube, sorry. Put it aside and deleted everything else. Well, when I say everything else, I mean of these pieces. I kept the light and all that. Okay, and I used that to create my kind of template level. So just scale that. These are going to be your walls. So I just did this 400, and so you get the idea. All right. So keep deleting everything and set up your level to have a kind of a runway like I have on the other side. Now another thing I did, this example map had a starting content, and I grabbed the collapse queue, okay, which is this one. Okay, so the audio works right on. Oh yeah. So anyway, so what I did, I imported, or I migrated, because I wanted to be able to kind of test and see, if you hit a wall, make some sound, yay. So what you do, you right click and you go to Asset Actions and then Migrate. And what is this going to do? First of all, your level has to be saved. It's going to take that asset and it's going to migrate that file with all other files associated with it. In this case, it's got these two waves that it was built with. Okay, so you're going to click OK. Now it's important to choose the proper file to do this properly. So you're going to have to navigate to your Unreal project files, find your folder, and you're going to place it into the content folder of your project folder. You can't put it anywhere else than in the content. Okay, so then you would click OK and it would do it. Actually, in this case, it wouldn't be the Flying Tim, it would be in the Flying Tutorial. Okay. So always in the content. So that's the things that I did. Now we're going to jump back in the actual project. Another thing I did, well, make sure to also have your post-process, or not your post-process, but your light mass importance volume cover your level. You can have multiple of these if you have to. Let's say your level takes a different shape. Oops, I copied two of those. Anyway, so yeah, put them all over your place so you have proper lighting. I built a ceiling with a blocking volume. You can find those in place, volumes and blocking volumes, drag and drop, and then just scale it like you did the other parts of the level. Okay. I added these small boxes just for a reference of how fast I was going. These are part of your project files. Okay, you don't need to do that anyways. Put this guy all the way back. And also now an important part of what we're going to do is basically when we hit a wall, we have to know which wall it is. Okay? And there's always going to be four. There's a floor, there's a ceiling, there's a wall left, and a wall right. No matter how big your level is, this is going to be the way that it's going to be. So these actors have to have tags that reference to that information. So you're going to go in all of you're going to select all of them, click or type tag, add a new tag. In this case, it's ceiling. Okay. Ceiling, we're gonna go, hey, where's my cat? This is wall, oops, wall right, and floor, and then wall left. As you can see, you can have component tags also, but for this, we're just gonna have actor tags. Okay, another thing to note is the kind of collision that these guys are set to, which is world static. This is going to be useful information a bit. Another thing is the movement I think we had set that up in the last one, right? So let's just put it back the way that it was, and our current forward speed to 4,000. Okay. Now another thing we need to set up is well, okay. First of all, as you can see, I commented everything out just to make it nice and pretty. It's the same thing as we had earlier. We had our forward motion, our pitch rotation, our yaw rotation, and set roll null. So nothing changed, I just commented and placed them around. Oops. Our hit event, I deleted everything around the hit event. We're going to be using this guy. Okay, so another thing we have to change, our spaceship basically is on top of our camera, so this is not really good for walls because by the time he actually hits the wall, the camera is gonna pretty much be across and you're gonna be able to see through the wall. So we're gonna have to create another collision. We're gonna do a sphere collision. Okay, and this is gonna become our root. Oh, I don't know why this happens. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say sometimes they just disappear, but it was just me lost in space. Okay, custom. So what we're gonna do, we notice that these walls are static, so we definitely want to block static, but we're not gonna block dynamics. That way, if we have enemies, the enemies are gonna have to actually shoot the spaceship and not the sphere, because the sphere is gonna be pretty big. It's gonna be this big. 600 was a good number for me. It looks pretty big, but you'll see it works well. Collision enabled. Now our plane mesh, world static. Okay, I already set it to world static, but we want this to be a pawn. So it ignores the world static, so it's not going to hit the wall, so it's obviously impossible for it to hit the wall because it's got just this giant sphere that's going to do it for it. But we want it to hit world dynamics, and we're going to set it to pawn so that the enemies can target that object type to damage it if we get that far. That's pretty much it. Did I forget anything? Collision enabled. Collision enabled. Okay, so now we're gonna get on our way. So as always, we need some variables. Yay, variables. Okay, we're gonna have two variables, one for hit wall and one for the roof and ceiling. We're gonna call this hit floor or ceiling. That's kind of a long name. Whatever. Just call it like that. We need a name type, and this is going to be where we check our tags. Oops. We'll just call it wall tags. And this means ceilings and floors also. This is going to be Eric because we have 4. We need to check 4. So you're going to go and add. You need to compile before you can add these guys. I guess I did. And you're going to name them accordingly. They have to be spelled in caps the same way that we did. So we have wall left, wall right. We have floor, and we have ceiling. Oops. This looks right. Yep. Groovy. So first things first, we're gonna drag this guy in. Or actually, we're gonna set our. We'll do it after. Okay, for each loop. And this is where we're gonna find out if we did hit something and if it's got a tag that we're looking for. So actor has tag, and I have a branch. Branch, and it's going to use the element of the array to check. Oh yeah, okay, after we need a switch. So that if it's true, it's gonna pick the proper one. Need 4, 4, and again, wall left, wall right, floor, ceiling. Okay. Okay, and now we can start setting up our do we need a branch? The branch goes first. We need some branches. If it's true, because the way it works when you hit something with the sweep and the hit, it's gonna fire a whole bunch of times because we've got it going on a tick, and then later on we're gonna have it going on in another place. So we only want this to happen once. So if wall is false, do it and then set it to true, so that you can't do it twice in a row. Now we need this guy twice, and we're gonna do the same thing for our floor. False, delete, oops, wrong one. I forgot to plug you. Copy and paste, turn it to true, my bad. Okay, so with that said, we also need to set was it over here? I think it was over here. Need to set them a branch, or two branch, and it happens on false. Let's give it some room. So if either of these statements are true, nothing happens. Okay, and we also need them up here inside of our forward motion, and false. There we go. Next part is creating our custom events. We need 4 of them. Custom event, and guess what we're gonna call them? Yep. Hey. Alright. Floor. And ceiling. Now we're going to be calling these guys over here. So wall left, wall right, floor, and ceiling. Okay. All nice and straight. It's the way we like it. So when we're going to hit one of the walls, it's going to check, does it have, well, when it's going to hit anything, it's going to check, does it have a tag? If it does have a tag, it's going to switch on that tag's name and go accordingly. So if hit wall, or if the hit wall or hit ceiling is false, it's going to go ahead, but if it's true, it's not going to do anything. And like I said earlier, this is just so that this doesn't happen a whole bunch of times in a row when the sweep is in effect, which can cause infinite loops and stuff. So it's only going to happen once. And the reason we have 2 and not just 1 boolean, it's, let's say we're going in a diagonal downwards and we're hitting the left wall and the bottom wall, so if they were both using the same boolean, it would create some conflict and you'd probably end up going through the walls. So we're going to start with this one, and branch, and this branch is going to be to break a loop, because we're going to create a loop here like we did earlier, and this is a wall. So as long as the wall is true, it's going to keep doing this. You can add a get delta or world delta, but when I was testing this, I found that the world delta wasn't giving me a smooth enough. It wasn't fast enough, basically. And this is maybe because, well, I mean, I 0.003 is as far down as I could go, and it just wasn't. And basically, it's for testing. For me, this was working better for testing. Once you're ready to ship or test on mobile device, you can try to see with the delta. After that, we need this guy. Ha! It's already there. And I think he's gonna be good just like this. You want him to, so I mean, essentially he's not even gonna be using it. It's just when he starts being able to use it just in time to give it a nudge. And we're also gonna give it a nudge in the opposite direction than the wall we hit. So on the left we want to go right, which is a positive number. This is what we want. Here we're gonna have a branch, and get actor rotation, break, and left. So that means we need a bigger than 0. Okay, so we hit the wall on the left. We want our plane, our spaceship, to right itself in the opposite direction. Okay, so as long as he's not bigger than 0, we're gonna keep doing our little thing. But if he is 0 or bigger, actually we should put this as equal. It's either bigger or equal than 0. Okay. If this is true, we're gonna stop. Where is it? This is a wall. We're gonna set this. If it is not true, we're gonna get an actor rotation. Actor local rotation with its break. This is on the yaw left, so we need to go right, which means we need a positive number. This is basically the speed at which he's gonna right himself, and I found that 0.8 was a decent number. Actually, I need this to happen on the false. Okay. Now I'm gonna add that sound. Play sound. Location. Get actor world. Get actor location. And this is my collapse key. Okay. Let's see. Alright, it crashes, and it seems to work. I mean, you're crushing as well. Okay, this is good enough for me. And you know, you can tweak around with the numbers if he's writing himself too fast, or you know, stuff like that. You can mess around. After that, we're just going to copy and paste. These are going to be opposites, so -5. And this is going to be a smaller or equal than 0. And this is going to be -0.8. You know what? I think I forgot to do something. Okay, yeah. So I forgot to add my this guy, because sometimes it just does some weird rolly thingies. So we're not gonna have any roll. Just make sure it gets set to 0. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. We could set. Do we need to set our back to 0? Okay. So copy and paste all of that, and that's basically going to be it. So it shouldn't take too long. -5. This is a smaller equal. -0.8. They compile. Oops. Something did not go here. Okay. And then the floor is a positive. I'm going to try to space them out a bit more. It's going to get confusing and hard to select. Oh, cool, didn't get the other one. Oops, I don't want that though. My floor, and they're going to be positive. So that's something to change. Change, this is a pitch, and this is a pitch. So keep in mind backspace doesn't work, you have to set it. Oh, and also this is a ceiling. So get the ceiling. Oops. Okay. Now the floor is negative numbers, or I'm just going to use this one again. Switch into. Either way takes as long to do, I guess. -5. This is a smaller equal. And this is -0.8. We got this. Okay, let's check it out. Which is good. Hit the ceiling before we get out of here. So everything seems to work pretty well. I'm thinking of doing a fourth one because I want to keep doing stuff with this. I'm having fun. So we're gonna probably add some pillars and stuff falling like I had in my my other level. And we'll see how much time we have and see what we want to do from there. Alright, so hopefully this was insightful for you and you enjoyed it. Again, if there's anything unclear, just let me know and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so see you in the next video, and bye.